Currently, whenever we jump, there's no visual indicator as to how our car is jumping. So we need to turn on the turbo whenever we hit the jump button. Select your Tune Sports car from the hierarchy, scroll down and double click to open up your car script. Scroll down to the bottom of your class and make sure you're inside the closing bracket for your class and give yourself some space to type some new code. Type IEnumerator, make sure you don't select enumerable, and give it a name of Jump Turbo. We are declaring a method, so make sure to put an open and close parentheses. Inside this method, we're going to pass it a float parameter. Type float and name this variable seconds. Go to your next line and type an opening and closing curly bracket. The first thing that we want to do is set our turbo to active. Type turbo.setActive and pass it the value of true. Put a semicolon at the end of your line. And the next thing we're going to do is tell our enumerator to wait. Type yield return new wait for seconds, open and close parentheses, and we're going to pass it our seconds value and end your line with a semicolon. This instruction will tell your computer to pause and wait until the number of seconds has passed before continuing on to follow the code below it. Next, we can set our turbo to false by typing turbo.setActive and passing a value of false with a semicolon at the end of the line. But this might cause visual problems if we're holding down the turbo button at the same time. So above this line, we're going to declare a new bool variable and call it isTurboPressed. And we're going to set it equal to input.getKey with opening and closing parentheses. Into the getKey method, we're going to pass keycode.leftShift, which is our turbo button, into your line with a semicolon. So now if we're holding down our turbo button, isTurboPressed will be true, and if not, it'll be false. So here, when we set our turbo to set active, we can pass it that value of isTurboPressed. Next, whenever we jump, we need to call our jump turbo enumerator. Scroll up in your code to where you set your jump, and just below where we add force, go to the next line. Enumerators are a special type of method. To call it, we're going to have to type start coroutine with an opening and closing parentheses. Inside these parentheses, we're going to call our jump turbo method. Type jump turbo with opening and closing parentheses, and we're going to pass in a value of 0.5f, which is half of a second. Put a semicolon at the end of your line and save your file.